Daniel Dubois' next fight will be on April the 27th. They're keeping him busy. It's only, 6-7 weeks after his previous fight is going to be against Razvan Kajanu. So they're keeping him busy. And it will be against a guy called Richard Lartey. Now, Lartey sounds like something that you would pick up at Starbucks, but no, in this case, it is in fact a Ghanaian heavyweight who's 14-1, 11 KOs. The one loss came by stoppage back in 2014 against a man called Ergin Mersin, who is actually an unbeaten Swiss heavyweight. Not many heavyweights come out of Switzerland, but he was unbeaten. Hasn't fought for a while, actually hasn't fought since the Richard Lartey fight, interestingly enough, but does have a fight scheduled for this year, once again in Switzerland. So, yeah, that's who Lartey is. I don't recognize any of the names on his record other than this Mersin guy, and I really don't know that much about Mersin. Don't recognize any of the names on his record from Ghana. Ghana is not known for heavyweights. Now, Ghana has produced many great fighters over the years, from Ike Quartey to Azuma Nelson. In recent years, they've had Joshua Clottey, a bunch of other people. So Ghana's strong when it comes to boxing. In fact, they're probably the strongest nation in Africa, boxing-wise, if you look at it in a historical context anyway. But they don't really produce heavyweights. Generally, Ghanaian people tend to be a little shorter in stature. If you're looking for heavyweights in Africa, they tend to come from Nigeria, where people, some of the tribes, etc., are larger in stature than Ghanaians tend to be. So Richard Lartey is that rare thing, a Ghanaian heavyweight. So doesn't really come with any kind of pedigree. And as I say, because he's a heavyweight from Ghana rather than a heavyweight from Nigeria, how much promise can he really have? You know, it's understandable that people might be a little skeptical of him. But be that as it may, he's 14-1. He is on a winning streak of how many fights here? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8-fight winning streak, all against nondescript opposition going into the Daniel Dubois fight. I don't mind this fight for Daniel Dubois. They're keeping him busy. Yeah, and unlike Anthony Yarde, Frank Warren appears to be trying to move Daniel Dubois the traditional route, because he's been talking about him fighting for, the British title and what have you. He already fought for the English against Tom Little. He's already fought for Southern Area before. So like a typical Frank Warren fighter, he appears to be getting moved the traditional route. And that's a good way to move him. Yeah. I think that Daniel Dubois is being moved at a good pace. And someone like Richard Lartey, his record looks good on paper. We're not expecting that much from him. Maybe he'll come with some ambition. I mean, he's a big enough guy, right? Maybe he'll come with ambition. But the fact that it's such a quick turnaround from the Kajanu fight to the Lartey fight, you can't expect an amazing opponent. This will be at the Wembley Arena. In fact, which show is this going to be? Okay, Lerone Richards, Tommy Langford, top of the bill. Sonny Edwards, Jack Catterall. Okay. Zach Chelly's going to be on there. Dubois is going to feature. So I'm guessing this is going to be top of the bill then. The World Boxing Organization International Super Middleweights. So some international belt between Lerone Richards and Tommy Langford will be top of the bill. So yeah, it's a quick turnaround. Can't complain when there's such a short time frame between the Kajanu and the Lartey fight. Can't complain. I think it's perfectly okay for Daniel Dubois. I like the way they're progressing him. I like the improvement that Dubois is showing. I have to admit, at one stage in the past, I was becoming a little bit of a Dubois skeptic, because I'm someone, as you know, who has an interest in psychology. And I guess it was frustrating me that I couldn't get a read on Daniel Dubois, because if somebody doesn't say anything, it's much more difficult to try and analyze them psychologically when they literally don't say anything. And that's how Daniel Dubois was. So I was left to speculate, what's going on in his head? Why doesn't he say anything? Why is he so shy? But from then, he has proven that his quietness, so far anyway, is not a problem at all. He's perfectly confident. A trash talker like Tom Little was not able to throw him off his game in any way. He stayed professional and took care of that guy. Obviously, Tom Little was not a world-class heavyweight or anything, but even against someone like that, who's not a world-class heavyweight, you'd be surprised how many fighters could be thrown off by that kind of trash talk. You see, in boxing, It's not just about testing you physically, testing your skills. It's about testing your mind. And the fighters who go on to do good things in boxing are the ones who have the right temperament. You see, some fighters have got the physical ability, but they don't have the temperament. And that's what I wanted to see from Daniel Dubois. The physical ability is clear to see. Does he have the temperament? For me, in the Tom Little fight, he showed that he does have, at least, for now, a pretty good temperament. So yeah, I think it's a perfectly acceptable stay busy fight with a quick turnaround since the last fight. And I'm anticipating that Frank Warren will be looking to step Daniel Dubois up once again before hopefully facing him off against his stablemate and domestic rival Nathan Gorman at the back end of 2019. So yeah, I think it's a perfectly acceptable stay busy fight for Daniel Dubois. Again, with such a quick turnaround from the Kajanu fight. And I'm expecting and anticipating Frank Warren to step Daniel Dubois up appropriately this year, eventually culminating hopefully in this domestic showdown with his stablemate Nathan Gorman. So we'll see if that happens. Even if that doesn't happen, I still expect Daniel Dubois to be gradually and appropriately stepped up this year. So let me know how you guys feel in the comment section below. Have any of you actually seen Richard Lartey fight? If you have, let me know what you think in the comments and whether he is going to bring anything to the table, whether he'll bring any kind of ambition, will to win. How tough is he? Let me know in the comments, people, what's happening out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.